What's up YouTube, Capital G here talking about the Gouki archetype in this video. Two new cards have been revealed. I think they both look extremely promising. They are both in Code of the Duelist, and Gouki are just looking really good. I've already gone on the record. I've said that I am definitely going to be picking up Gouki because it definitely looks like it fits my playstyle. It looks like a very throwback beatdown type of archetype. If you guys don't know what Gouki are, I'll kind of discuss that after I talk about the cards. But everything so far that we've seen about the Gouki archetype so far just looks really good, and not only do they look like they're going to be extremely playable right out of the gate, but they are played by one of the main characters in Yu-Gi-Oh! Vrains. If you guys don't know who this big guy right here is, this is Go. He is the confirmed rival of Yosaku, so you know he's pretty much going to be an important character. He's probably going to be in the entire series because the rival usually is. A lot of people have been debating over whether this is his real hair because I say it is. People keep telling me I'm an idiot and that it's a hat, but come on guys, he's a Yu-Gi-Oh! Protagonist. Having dumb hair definitely comes with the territory. And you know, this guy is, a lot of people think that he's a wrestler because a lot of his monsters are like named after wrestling moves. I think that he could definitely, that could be possible. I mean, he's got the physique, he's got the whole muscle man macho look, and he's got the crazy get up. He almost looks like a superhero of sorts, which, you know, would definitely fit in with wrestling. So let's look at the two cards that Gouki actually had revealed. The first one is Gouki Rising Scorpio. It is a level 5 Earth Warrior. If you guys don't know, the entire Gouki archetype is Warrior and it's Earth. It's gonna have 0 defense because everything in the archetype has 0 defense. It obviously, like, they need to kind of work with their boss monster, which I'll talk about again in a second for those of you who are unfamiliar with this archetype. 2300 attack. It's level 5, which as soon as I saw that, I was like, oh goodness, this is gonna be the crappy Gouki, just watch. But no, it's actually pretty good. You can only use the second effect once per turn. It is the hard once per turn no matter how many copies you have. Effect number 1, if you have no monsters or if all monsters you control are Gouki monsters, you can normal summon this card without tributing. That's good to me because, I mean, if you just normal summon this guy and he's got 2300 attack, that's pretty damn hard to kill. Like, that is very significant. And I like the fact that it's not even like Cyber Dragon. The fact I can have like 2 Goukis already on the field and I can just normal summon this guy. Again, this seems like a very just straightforward beat your opponent down type deck, and I definitely like that. Effect number 2 obviously was going to be built into this because it kind of just goes along with the other monsters. If this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can add 1 Gouki card from your deck to your hand except itself. That is built into every Gouki monster so far, and that's what makes me think that Gouki are at least going to be a minimum of tier 2. You guys know that most decks that have like some type of floating, whether it be destroyed or just sent to the graveyard, most of those decks of, I guess, recent memory, basically since Zexal, like almost every one of those decks has been extremely good. The ones that come to my mind are Yang Zing, Burning Abyss, Shadow, and then TG, and every single deck that I name, guys, every one of those decks won a YCS with the exception of Yang Zing. TG won a YCS, Shadows won a YCS, and so did Burning Abyss. Burning Abyss actually won multiple YCSs. Then we have the second card, which is really spicy. It's called Gouki Rematch, and this is essentially an Infernity Launcher. It's a normal spell. It says you can only activate this card's name once per turn, so it's obviously a hard once per turn. It says target 2 Gouki monsters in your graveyard with different levels, special summon them, and defense position. And the most important thing to understand about Gouki Rematch is, guys, it's searchable by every single one of the main deck monsters so far. It's searchable by this guy. It's searchable by, obviously, the Rising Scorpio. So you are basically going to have access to this card whenever the hell that you want. Now, the monsters do have to come back in defense position, which, you know, every monster so far has 0 defense. So, you know, it's not like the greatest thing, but obviously you can still use those monsters for synchro summons. You can still use those monsters for link summoning. I mean, this is an instant link too. And then when your Gouki monsters go to the graveyard, you can obviously just search more cards, which, I don't know, this card seems extremely strong. I also like the fact that, you know, it doesn't matter whether you have like monsters on the field. I thought maybe it was going to kind of be like a Bujin Carnation where you like couldn't have any monsters on the field, or those Gouki monsters, or excuse me, you can only make like Gouki monsters that turn. But no, there's no type of restrictions. It's just the Gouki monsters have to be different levels, which, you know, that so far the archetype has level 3, has level 4, and has level 5, so that really shouldn't be that difficult to meet. Now let me talk about Goukis for just a hot second. For those of you who are like, well, Cap, what exactly are they? They're kind of like an old school beatdown deck. The boss monster is actually really good. Monsters that are linked to him can be used to basically protect him from dying by battle or from dying by card effects. So things like Regeki and things like Kaiju Interrupted Slumber are not necessarily going to kill him. And the main monsters, anytime that these guys go to the graveyard, or at least once per turn, they can search anything in the archetype that is not themselves. They're all warrior. They all have 0 defense because he actually has an effect. It's a continuous effect, and he makes all monsters on the field lose attack equal to its defense. And obviously, since they don't have defense, it doesn't hurt him, or it doesn't hurt the archetype. And, you know, obviously Link monsters don't have any defense. A lot of people have immediately pointed out that Mass Chameleon is going to be like fucking broken in this deck because the entire archetype has basically 0 defense. Like what's it called? Mass Chameleon is going to work with every single monster basically in the archetype. So that looks really good because if you bring out a 4, you can synchro, you can exceed. Looks like it's going to be good. I don't know. What do you guys think? I think that having a launcher that's basically searchable by everything is really good. If we can find some splashable tuners in this deck, like, it can be so freaking scary because it's not just link summoning that procs their effects, but synchro summoning as well. And just having an entire archetype that floats means you can just laugh at Regeki, you can laugh at Torrential, like all of those cards like Trident just aren't really going to be that big of a problem for these guys. And usually when Konami designs archetypes like this in the past, the ones that I just named, they all end up being really good. I think that also Skill Drain could be good in this deck as well because, you know, decks like Burning Abyss and TG and Yang Zings, they've all been able to incorporate Skill Drain because you're basically just playing a beatdown deck at that point. And all of these monsters, 2300 attack, you know, I think the boss monster has 2600, like they all have good stat lines too. So what do you guys think? I'm infatuated with Gouki's. This is kind of like love at first sight. Sometimes when you see a new archetype, you can just instantly tell that it meets your playstyle. This reminds me very, very much of TG's when they first came out. So let me know what you guys think of the new Gouki cards. I think they're both really good. Thank you guys for watching as always, and subscribe if you have not already.